Yo, watching these Screaming Fish here, people, and once again, I'm here with another video, but this time it's not a review. I am ranking another movie series, once again, and this time we're looking at X-Men. Bear in mind, there is a couple of spoilers here and there. I'm not going to say, not a lot, but just a tiny bit. If you haven't seen any of these movies, then watch all of them, and come back to me. Anyway, though, I'd just like to point out one thing. I will not be including Deadpool in this video because one, it's not confirmed whether Deadpool is set in the actual X-Men universe, and two, Deadpool seems to be its own universe from what I'm looking at. I know that those two are pretty much the same thing, but oh well. Anywho, let's get on with it. So, we're going from worst to best, starting with my least favourite to my ultimate favourite. And also, this is in my opinion, so if you have a different opinion, share in the comments instead of just complaining to me that I have a bad opinion, please. So, anyway, if you don't like my opinion, I don't care. Simple as that. So, without further ado, let's get on with it. Number 8 is X-Men Origins Wolverine. This movie pretty much lacks in almost everything. Good performances, good story, good effects, and good characters. I could go on, but the fact that this movie ruined the character of Deadpool and gave us a boring telling of the origin of Wolverine, that in all honesty, we really didn't need to be told, literally makes X-Men, and also literally makes X-Men The Last Stand look good. I would even go as far as to say that this is one of the worst comic book movies ever made. And admittedly, this is the only movie in the X-Men series that I would not watch a second time. Like, I would even watch every X-Men movie, but then I just look at Origins Wolverine and I just thought, no. But anywho, let's get on with number 7, and obviously, number 7 is X-Men The Last Stand. So, no, this isn't a good movie. The story was poorly written, especially considering this movie is 2 comic book stories mashed into one movie. The plot jumps from one story to the next, making it pretty convoluted and hard to follow. I did, however, like the characterization of Angel, which was pretty cool to see. The movie does have some pretty good effects as well. So I'm willing to give it points for that. But overall, it's a jumbled mess that's really hard to follow and confusing, in my opinion. So, number 6 is The Wolverine. The first 2/3 of this movie are exceptionally well written. The story felt very new and original, unlike the first attempt at making a Wolverine movie. This movie has good performances, particularly from Hugh Jackman himself, and fantastic action sequences, most notably the one set on a train, and the plot actually made sense. However, the movie's third act unfortunately falls to all kinds of comic book cliché, and there was also a horrible version of the Silver Samurai that I would much rather forget. It is, however, a decent movie in my opinion, and at the very least, entertaining. So, number 5. This is probably going to surprise a few people, especially considering my opinion on this movie. So, number 5 is the most recent X-Men movie, X-Men Apocalypse. This movie is very underrated in my opinion. Yes, Apocalypse isn't a great villain. Yes, the motivations are unclear at times, and yet, the title Apocalypse is a bit of an understatement. However, despite those problems, I really enjoyed this movie. It's very fun and entertaining, and it was cool to see the character of Apocalypse on the big screen for the first time. And there were some particularly strong moments involving Michael Fassbender as Magneto, but most notably the scene set in a forest. However, the main highlight of the film is once again Evan Peters as Quicksilver. Not only was it cool to see him get a lot more screen time and end up becoming a terrific character once again, but they managed to top the Quicksilver scene in my opinion from Days of Future Past, which is a really hard thing to do in my opinion. I also really like the younger versions of the old characters from the original trilogy, and the new actors did a superb job once again. And by once again, I mean McAvoy and Fassbender. So, number 4 is X-Men, the first X-Men, basically. So, this was the movie that saved the comic book movie genre after Batman and Robin had pretty much killed it off. The film gave us perfect representations of Professor X, Wolverine, and Magneto, Cyclops, Storm, and Jean Grey, and so much more. The tone and story was perfect for the concept. Hugh Jackman is amazing as Wolverine and by far the most interesting character. I really enjoyed Patrick Stewart as Professor Charles Xavier, and Ian McKellen is phenomenal as Magneto. However, the only issue I have with the movie is that we don't really have an emotional connection between our characters, which does make it a bit hard to care for them, but that can be easily forgiven as everything else is done so well, I could hardly care. This is an amazing movie that will be remembered for a very long time, particularly when it revived the comic book genre after the damage that was caused by Batman and Robin. So, number 3 is X-Men First Class. Originally intended to be a reboot, the movie would then go on to be a prequel to the first 3 movies, showing how Charles Xavier and Eric Lenscher met and then became enemies, basically. And in my opinion, this is one of the best prequel movies I've ever watched. The cast was phenomenal, including James McAvoy as a young Charles Xavier, and Michael Fassbender as a young Magneto was brilliant to see, and it was really cool to see how characters like Beast came into the X-Men universe, and there are some moments that I personally would consider iconic, like Magneto lifting a submarine out of the ocean is a moment that I'll never forget watching that. I mean, admittedly, X-Men First Class is one of the coolest cinematic experiences I'd ever had, and it's a moment I'll never forget. So, number 2 is X-Men 2 United. This movie is amazing. Bryan Singer basically did everything good he did in the first movie and improved upon it. We got stronger characters and motives, a stronger story, and we even got a closer look into Wolverine's origin, which is precisely why we didn't even need a prequel movie about him, Origins of Wolverine. The special effects are also amazing. When I first saw Colossus, I was just blown away. And the opening action sequence with Nightcrawler is considered iconic by many fans of the franchise, including me. Overall, X-Men United is one of the best sequels ever made and an amazing comic book movie. So, number 1. Yeah, I did say my opinion is a lot. I think I did say at the beginning of this video that my opinion is a lot different to most people, but oh well. So, number 1 is X-Men Days of Future Past. Based on one of the best comic book stories of all time, Days of Future Past perfectly blends the old and new cast together for one heck of a spectacular outing. We finally got to see the Sentinels on screen, for real this time. The story was very well written, with brilliant old characters such as Wolverine and new characters such as Quicksilver. It was really cool to see Wolverine interact with a younger, more broken down to earth Charles Xavier and a younger, vengeance-driven Magneto. And Jennifer Lawrence was brilliant as Mystique. She brought an emotional presence to the character that was not present in the original trilogy, in my opinion. However, the highlight of the film has got to be Evan Peters' debut as Quicksilver. He may not be in the movie much, but within 10 minutes, he became, in my opinion, the series' most likable character. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can top that Quicksilver slow-mo action sequence, except maybe the second Quicksilver scene in Apocalypse. Days of Future Past is the best film in the franchise, in my opinion, and still is, and is one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. So, guys, thank you for watching my ranking of the X-Men franchise. I know you guys are probably thinking why I didn't include Deadpool, but like I said in the beginning, Deadpool isn't exactly an X-Men movie, and it's not confirmed whether it's in the same universe or not. But yeah, I did like making this video because I mean X-Men is probably my favorite superhero franchise next to the MCU. But well, yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and follow me on Facebook. And I will indeed see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.